All right, and welcome to the Banter Ball Podcast, the number one spot for sports discussions. I'm here with Brennan and Kyle, our analysts today.
Hello.
And I am Corey Moore, the moderator for today's discussion. How you guys doing?
Dude, I'm doing great, Corey. I am so ready to be here.
Yeah.
I'm ready to banter about some ball. I don't know about you.
Same here. I'm super excited. I love me some sports ball.
That is so exciting. All right, so this is a very structured format. So just to go over it again, we got 30 seconds to ask questions, and then after that, they write their answers down on whiteboards, which you guys will not be able to see, especially if you are listening on the podcast. But they're going to write their answers, show that to me. Then they each have 35 seconds to explain their points of view, as the questions will be up to interpretation. If they agree, then they'll just have a minute of discussing that instead. But if they disagree, 35 seconds each, and then a minute 30 of trying to reach an agreement. Because we all like to agree. We don't want to disagree, right? So that's the show. Do you guys have any questions?
Let's rock.
Yep, let's go. Let's roll.
All right, and then the goal is to make you guys reach 10 agreements in the 25-minute period we have. Once we get close to the end of the 25 minutes, I'll tell you that is the last question that we will be doing. And then if you have not reached 10 points, we will do a 2-minute speed round where we just try to see how many very simple yes or no questions you guys agree on. If you get to 10, great. If you don't, punishment going on the TikTok. All right?
Fortunate. Okay.
Okay, and we're going to start that timer. You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
And we're going to start the show now. Question 1 is, since today is Monday Night Football, what are you most excited to see about tonight's game?
We're just going to write this down right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How's your day, Corey? I didn't get to ask you that in the beginning of the show.
It's really sad now I'm seeing your handwriting.
Dude, there's no flat surface to write it on. You know, I have a computer right here.
5 seconds.
All right, 5 seconds.
Show me your things.
So I phrased a question
Okay.
here. I said, can the Chiefs pass rush match the Eagles O-line?
All right, then you go first, Kyle, because he has a different answer.
Alrighty,
35 seconds on the clock.
So obviously we know how good the Eagles O-line is because we know about the Kelsey Bowl we're going to hear, and obviously that was part of Brennan's answer there. But I think the way you beat the Eagles is that you force Jalen Hurts to throw, and Jalen Hurts is a tremendous quarterback. I would say top 5, easily top 3, you could argue. But if you put him under pressure, like you saw in that Jets game, the Jets are very clearly a worse team, but they got to him real fast, and that's how they won that game. So the defense up front has to stay consistent.
Awesome. And Brennan.
All right, so my answer was Super Bowl rematch. I know it's a little bit of a generic answer, right? I didn't want to say Kelsey Bowl because that's what everyone's going to say, right? Super Bowl rematch. I'm excited about this NFL game. As my marker falls. Anyways, will Kansas City be able to put together a full offensive game? They've been struggling this season offensively. The Eagles' defense is very good. I'm excited to see what the Chiefs can do against this game. This has potential to be the best game of the year. So far, I think it probably will be the best game
I would say it's definitely going to be up there.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Huge playoff implications for the Chiefs. You know, there are a bunch of teams, and that's my time.
Okay. So now, minute 30, you're kind of thinking more about what the Chiefs can and can't do, and you're just looking both sides. Let's talk. Minute 30.
So I forget exactly what we're going on about, but you said something or other about the Chiefs have kind of not done too well offensively recently.
They've been struggling for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know if it's because Mahomes doesn't have a true wide receiver to throw to.
They really don't.
Travis Kelce. I mean, the offensive line's been all right. Creed Humphrey is a stud. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what's up with them. I mean, offenses around the league have been struggling.
Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm. This has been a historic year for how awful offenses have been.
Yeah, all right, but we got to reach an agreement here, so we gotta keep it going. So what you say? You said the
Chiefs pass rush can match the Eagles O-line.
I think they can. I mean, I think that comes down to Super Bowl rematch. You know, I mean, we saw it last year. The Chiefs pass rush. Can they get to the Eagles O-line? Last year they were able to when it mattered most. But I think that's a good agreement.
I think my biggest issue with you guys reaching an agreement here is that you're looking at a very specific aspect of the game. Are you also agreeing that is the most exciting thing looking at when you look at your Super Bowl rematch?
I think it's definitely a thing that you can look at. I honestly,
I'm able to make an amends here.
We can make amends. I mean, I think defense is going to win whoever plays the best defense is going to win this game. I mean, these are two high-powered offenses you're going up against. Whoever stops, which kind of goes back to his point, whoever stops the other team more is going to win. I mean, that's every NFL game. But.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are agreeing that defense is going to be the thing to watch in today's game. Awesome. Next question, NBA. What is the biggest issue with the James Harden experiment in LA? He's playing with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook.
4 superstars on the same team.
That's
crazy. Honestly, I don't even know how you have that much money, first of all, to sign those 4 players.
Well, Russ
NBA salary caps. Like, you got to be paying everybody else nothing. Hold on.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I want to see what you got. Okay.
No, but I have my reasons.
All right. Let's see what you got. Okay, you have similar answers. Brennan, let's see what you got.
All right. I put too many superstars. There's just too many of them. Even Nikola Jokic came out and said that. We've seen it with the Nets and Lakers. Super teams do not work in the NBA. And let's take a look at Kawhi Leonard, for instance, one of the most clutch players in the NBA. I mean, he had the game winner in the playoffs a couple of years ago. He's shooting 27% from mid-range, third worst among active players with 25 or more attempts in the fourth quarter, averaging 3.34 points in the fourth quarter of games. He's not closing them out. Against Denver and Memphis this year in the fourth quarter, he's only shot 1 of 6. 6 shots in the fourth quarter in 2 games. That's not enough for Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't have the opportunities to get going because there are too many superstars.
All right. And Kyle, you have one superstar you're looking at.
But specifically, yes, James Harden. Look, there's no shadow of doubt that James Harden is a very, very talented ball player. But they have four guys that you could say a few years ago could absolutely win you a title, and it's just it's the balance of power they're looking at here. I think Westbrook's now going to be coming off the bench now.
He is.
Yeah, he is now.
Yeah, which is just insane because I don't think that would really happen with many other teams at this point.
Interesting. So, all right, so it seems like you're kind of looking in the same realm that he's looking at.
Yeah. I am specifically looking at James Harden, obviously, but
I'm looking at all 4.
I understand
James Harden
that.
included in that.
But I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think especially with James Harden in this, I'm sure we all saw what that Mavericks announcer said, and I agree with him. It's just about at every point. He's had numerous chances in his entire career to have the opportunity to win a championship, and he quite really hasn't done it yet. So it's make or break it for this year, I would say.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
That James Harden is the biggest issue here in LA?
I mean, look at the team before James Harden got there. Look at the team after
Well,
James
do you
Harden
think
got
that
there.
they're, like you're talking about too many superstars, do you think there's another superstar that would fit where James Harden is not?
I don't think there is any superstar. No, I think there's too many of them. They all.
It's 4 guys.
I'm gonna relate this back to a different sport here at the NHL. Look at the Pittsburgh Penguins power play. There are too many superstars on the ice at the same time, and they can't produce any power play goals. Why? Because everyone wants to be the hero, everyone wants to be the superstar, and it's just too much selfish hockey or too much selfish basketball in this case for that to work. And adding James Harden, another superstar, into that mix isn't going to help anything.
Especially with a guy who's had a very recent history of being contrarian to the teams he's on.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So have you reached an agreement? Too many superstars. James Harden's chasing.
Especially James Harden.
I think adding James Harden really set this team over.
All right. Perfect timing. Next question.
Yeah,
okay.
Time to erase my answer.
You should have been doing that earlier. In the NFL, who is the most disappointing team so far this season?
This answer is going to shock you guys. I feel like maybe it will, maybe it won't.
We got 2 points already. These questions are very.
Kyle, I just have some.
I gave you softballs here. I'm just saying.
These are softies, yeah.
This is good for a first episode.
Good for a first episode. I agree. All right.
Let's see.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears, the most disappointing team in the NFL.
The Bears?
No, I don't.
Okay, then go.
All right,
go.
You go.
Go ahead, actually.
Going into this season, we all thought the Bears were going to be this. I don't think we were saying they were Super Bowl contenders, but I thought they could at least contend for the NFC North. And I think everybody was in agreement with that. Justin Fields was going to take the next step. You know, they got DJ Moore in the offseason. Some of the trade acquisitions they made at the trade deadline last year. They had a good setup to compete this year. They're 3-8. They blew the game yesterday against the Lions. Justin Fields is injured. Tyson Bagent was your starting quarterback. And even when Justin Fields has played, he has not been good. They're 19th in points per game. They're 27 in points allowed. It's just been a terrible season for the Chicago Bears, as always.
And Kyle, what are we thinking?
Okay, so I agree with a lot of that, and I definitely come to that decision. But I put the Buffalo Bills, your Buffalo Bills, because if being quite honest with you, the team now, I understand, has had a lot of injuries. They are absolutely are not a 6-win team into 11 weeks of football. They shouldn't be. They are absolutely, no matter how low that defense gets hurt, they are not 6 wins in 11 weeks, I don't think. That loss to Denver, I thought was kind of inexcusable. The 12 men on the field right at the end where he missed the kick and then
That was bad.
Yeah, that was not good. They're losing. It was the game against like Jacksonville and London. Not great. They're not competing with the teams kind of what we thought that were similar to them at the beginning of the year.
And your discussion time has started.
All right. I will say, I want like a lot of these NFL questions, because there's a lot of NFL questions Corey gave us. A lot of these NFL questions, I wanted to wait until yesterday to see what happens. And the Bills, that was an atrocious game on Monday. I agree with you. As a Bills fan, I was pissed that happened.
I was mad. I'm not even a Bills fan.
I was really upset. I wanted to see what they did. What did they do? They go out, they make change. They fired Ken Dorsey, and then you saw what happened yesterday. Against the top 3 defense in the New York Jets, they put up 32 points. Now they have a gauntlet of a schedule. All right? Don't get me wrong.
They go at Kansas City, they go at Philly, they host Dallas. It's very big games.
Because of the changes they made, they saved themselves from being the most disappointing team.
I can agree with that.
You can look elsewhere. I mean, I was going to say the Bengals too, but I don't think it would have been fair with the loss of Joe Burrow. I mean, injuries happen. Look at the defense. The Bills' defense, even with all those injuries, is still playing at an elite level. I think that you have to give credit to Sean McDermott. Even if I don't want to give him credit for being a good head coach, he's a tremendous defensive coordinator.
So in that case, with 15 seconds left, are you saying that it is therefore the Bears then?
I would say the Bears. The Bears have this fun fact. The Bears have more wins on Thursdays this year than Sundays.
Yeah,
because they played 2 Thursday night games.
Yeah,
they won both of them.
They played in those games, like the Panthers.
They played the Panthers and they played the Commanders.
Yeah, see, both of those teams had no expectations
but
this season. The Bears definitely did.
I'm counting that as an agreement. It went fully in Brennan's favor. So now we're going to move on. Staying in the NFL, what regular season awards, if any, should matter to the players?
Got to make this exaggerated a bit, Feeling it. Give some underlines here too. You feel it. Are you doing anything special with your whiteboard over there, Kyle? Like you like?
No, he's just writing.
He's just writing.
I guess
he's not showing the board to the screen.
What you got, Ryan?
None. No regular season award, individual award matters.
Yeah, I kind of said the same. I said none, but if I had to give an answer, I said either Defensive Rookie of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year.
I'll count that as an agreement. So let's just talk about that.
Yeah.
Why don't you think people should?
Because it's not a Super Bowl.
It's at the
end of the day. Oh, do you want to say?
I was going to say at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is championship.
Exactly.
But if I had to give like a fair answer with the way that the offense in general in the league has been playing. I'm a Steelers fan. I can be evident of that.
Of course.
It's not good. And a lot of teams are relying on their defenses to win games. Like the Jets have been doing recently.
It just goes that defense wins championships.
Like the Steelers have been doing recently.
I was going to say, if I had to choose Eddie, I was going to say Coach of the Year. Because I feel like a good head coach really determines the success of a team.
Sure, but I think
at the end of the day, none.
I agree. Yeah.
But
if you find a stud defensively,
one player does not define a team. That's what I was saying. I mean, look at Matt Stafford. Never won an MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. Yeah. He led his team to a Super Bowl.
All right. You guys are 4 for 4. That's your first immediate agreement. All right. So now, just moving to a general question. What professional league, specifically in the United States, has the biggest issue with officiating or refs?
Ooh. This is a good one.
You got to get an answer for this.
We are halfway through your format. Even though you are 4 for 4, you're not halfway through.
There's only 11 questions. You didn't give us a lot of...
yeah, because I knew you were going to have some problems. What you got? All right, I see you. Oh, he's changing it. Uh-oh. He's over the side. What you got?
NFL.
Okay.
It's the NFL.
I initially put...
You disagree. I want to hear you first. I didn't know you put NBA.
I put MLB.
MLB. Ooh, that's...
That's
a tricky one.
I initially had NBA because recently the refs have not been very good in the NBA.
The refs have been awful in like every sport.
Why are you talking? Let him talk.
Hey, I'm
Look.
just throwing it out.
Recently in the NBA, the refs have not been good. You saw that play for the Grizzlies where the guy got an ejection. He looked at him and walked with it. Yeah, it's really not great. But I say this with confidence. I would the only sport I would feel fine replacing officials with like robots would be the MLB. I think I'm just being honest with you because I think it's such a designated area for a hitter to hit in. I'm trying to for strikes and outs and stuff like that.
We'll need to elaborate on that in the discussion.
Okay.
Mr. NFL.
NFL. First of all, it's the biggest market in all of American professional sports. All right.
Yes.
So you should have the best refs in the league, right? But there's just so many instances of missed calls that are affecting games. Like in baseball, a missed ball or a strike. Ultimately, that's not going to come down to affecting the decision of a game. These are, all right? I mean, look, in the past instances, you got Jesse James with that dropped the ball, which I know you're a Steelers fan. He caught that.
I have a whole laundry list of.
What about the missed pass interference in the Saints-Rams NFC Championship?
Absolutely.
And your discussion portion has started.
And I'll continue on with yours a little bit. I remember 2018, the Steelers were playing the Saints, and there was
I remember
you remember this play?
Yeah.
It was Joe Hayden. It was Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't think he even touched him. I mean, quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And it was in the end zone. It was a long heave to the end zone, and that put the ball on the 1 yard line, which that's also a penalty.
There was also the DJ Brown pass interference Thursday night in the Bengals Ravens game. The ball was clearly uncatchable for Zay Flowers. The Bengals going to lose the game. I mean, that for other reasons. I mean, Joe Burrow got hurt, but still, that's a huge blow. Even this week, like Kenny Pickett, he was tackled in the end. So that was a safety.
I didn't quite see it, but that's what everyone the popular opinion is. Yeah,
and I mean, what else? The illegal contact in the Browns-Colts game earlier this season, like the game that went into overtime.
That was
like
bad.
39. There's just been so many missed calls in the biggest market in American professional sports. And these are determining games, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I feel like MLB, I do agree with you, like robot umpires, that'd be good. But I feel like that officiating affects the NFL more because there's there's less room for error in an NFL game than there is in an MLB game.
I can agree with that.
In terms of officiating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Brennan has won Kyle over once again for the second time in full. So, next question. You guys are 5 for 5 on agreements. What team do you think will fall out of the playoff picture by the end of the season? This is an NFL question specifically.
I don't know if Kyle's gonna like this answer.
Hopefully you guys are picking up on the format by now. I know you two are fine, but I didn't explain it very well.
It's fine. I'm sure they get it.
It's smooth. We got it. We're discussing. It's great. 3 seconds. What you guys got?
Yeah.
Okay, the Pittsburgh Steelers and discuss.
Well, like I said, I wanted to wait till yesterday. I wanted to see who would win the game. If it wasn't going to be the Steelers, I was going to say the Cleveland Browns. But the Steelers would lose that game, and the offense is just so bad.
Oh my God, it is
like,
so insane.
How do you keep Matt Canada for that long?
I don't know. Look, this is an amazing fact, though. I believe they've been outgained in
I have that in my notes.
They've been outgained in every game that they've played so far, and they have a winning record. That is Mike Tomlin voodoo doll. I don't know how. That's the first time a team's ever done that.
Can you really say the Steelers are going to fall out of playoff contention? I mean, they're going to finish 9-8 and get like the 8 seed in the AFC.
Oh, that's not okay.
But like
they're still.
The magic has to. We saw it in the 11-0 season.
Sure.
Like they start 11-0 and they fall off and they lose first round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I feel like the same thing's happening this year almost.
They still have a very easy schedule going forward. They have Indianapolis. They have Arizona. But
you got to keep in mind the Steelers are not that great of a team either. And if you're losing to Dorian Thompson-Robinson and the Browns, I mean that's a bit of cosmic.
All right,
it's definitely
6 for 6. Moving on. Okay, NBA, they have their in-season tournament going right now. What league, if any, should adopt a similar format?
Okay. Got my answer written down.
I feel like there's a lot of
Okay. You guys' answers are different. Kyle, start us off.
I said NHL because I feel like I think I could maybe make the amends on maybe baseball if that's your answer, but I think that's a sport where it's all the same sort of situations. It's all in the arenas. It's all in this. The schedules for sports like that kind of overlap pretty well. I would not be against that happening actually in the NHL because I feel like the NHL has a very big problem in like.
No, they do. Their marketing.
It's awful. It's really, really bad.
Yeah.
So I think they really could benefit from something like this.
All right. And Brent.
Well, I did say MLB.
Okay.
I thought about NHL a little bit. I was like, I feel like the sport's a little too physical. There are 162 games in the MLB season. You can at least make some of them an in-season tournament, like especially at the beginning of the year. You already saw I know it wasn't like a complete in-season tournament, but the World Baseball Classic was so successful this year in terms of market. It was great for the MLB. There's going to be more meaningful games played at the beginning of the season too. Like everyone is so excited about baseball like the first 2 weeks, then it dies down because there are so many games. If you make more meaningful games at the beginning of the season, I think this can go a long way in terms of MLB.
And it kind of just harkens back to when these players were in high school and they did X and Y. They did long road trips
so many
and they did Okay, yeah.
I
So you guys both seem to think that each other's leagues are they would benefit from a regular season
I think they would.
tournament. Which one do you think needs to implement it like now?
Baseball can wait, I think.
See, I don't know.
Because you were even agreeing that NHL is a problem.
NHL does have a problem with marketing. I'm concerned that because the NHL is like so physical of a sport that like I know like you can take away the regular season games if I'm playing
because that's what we're doing for the NBA, right?
Yeah. But if you add more games to the NHL, like playoffs for this in-season tournament stuff, I feel like those players go through so much already. I mean, you saw a player die on the ice in England last week.
Yeah.
Like
rest in peace.
A couple of weeks ago, R.I.P.
Former Penguin, yeah.
Like it's just too physical of a sport. I feel like to have that. Like basketball, it's not as physical. There's not as much wear and tear on your body, and that's why I didn't say football too, because that's even worse.
That'd be worse. Oh, as cool as that would be awful for the players. Yeah,
that'd be awful. Like there's only 17 games in a season.
Yeah.
Baseball, I feel like with the way they're
10 seconds
going now, I think it's a much more like manageable situation, and especially because baseball dies down so much.
Totally, yeah.
I feel like it would do, and you can even have the championship over the All-Star break, like incorporate that. Into
I like that.
Break. Yeah. Have like the semifinals and championship there. I think.
But so that being said, if they were to implement it without adding more games, do you still think the NHL would benefit more than the MLB?
Yeah, at the end of the day, probably not. Because I feel like the NHL is operating at a net loss right now.
I feel like there needs to be more.
So you're saying the MLB would benefit more, or it's more important for the NHL?
It would be more important for the NHL, but I think the MLB would definitely benefit from it more.
So NHL or MLB?
I'm pretty close, but I thought of it MLB initially, so I'll agree with them. Yeah.
MLB still? All right. Brendan has won him over. Come on, Kyle. You got to do something. This is the final question of before the speed round begins. You are 7 for 7. Okay. Now let's talk about the MLB. What team most interests you in the Shohei Ohtani signing race?
Got an answer here.
Okay. I got it.
Saw it. You good?
All right, you go first.
All right, I got the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
They're reported to be very interested in him. They want to sign him more than they want to re-sign Cody Bellinger, which I think is huge for the Chicago Cubs, considering how well of a season Cody Bellinger had. Do I think they're going to sign him? Maybe not. He's likely going to stay on the West Coast, go to the Dodgers. But in terms of a team most interested in seeing in this Shohei Ohtani signing race, I think the Chicago Cubs, you got to give them credit. If they want to sign him, they're going to go out and they're going to go and do everything they can to sign him. I think he's a great fit in Chicago. But I don't know. But that's who I'm most interested in seeing.
Sure. Now, you're more the baseball guy than me. I can make the amends for that. But I put Baltimore, put the Orioles. And I doubt this would happen. It's just more of a ideal fit. I feel like if they are able to add a guy like him, they would very easily be the favorite. I would say in that very competitive division that they won. They did,
yeah.
Yeah. If they want to stay even comparably in the race for playoffs every year in and year out. I feel like they do have to have a big splash signing like this.
Yeah.
Because they're with the Yankees, they're with the Red Sox,
Blue Jays,
the Rays. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so Baltimore or whatever you say.
the thing with Baltimore
Chicago
is that they have such a young core. I think they can continue to make the playoffs for years and years to come. Like, I'm sure, I agree with you, they need a splash signing. I just don't know if Shohei Ohtani is him, because they're going to have to spend so much money on him that they're not going to have enough. Well, they're not going to have enough to sign these young players to long-term contracts. Mm-hmm. And I mean, sticking with in the American League tough division, right? You saw what the Rays do with small market ball. The Orioles are a small market team. It's just, I don't think the Orioles are ever going to be a team that's going to go out there and make these big flashy moves.
They should.
I agree with you. They should. But the Pittsburgh Pirates should also, and they're never going to do it too, because
we could talk about the Pirates for a whole podcast episode. I'll tell you that.
They don't have the money. Even the Milwaukee Brewers, a competitive team, a small market, they just released their best starting pitcher because they didn't want to pay him.
This is more of an MLB issue than anything. I feel like at this point. Then it's more of just a salary cap thing.
I think MLB needs a salary cap. I agree with you on that. And if they did have a salary cap, I would consider maybe Shohei Ohtani to the Orioles is possible. I think in terms of interest, the Orioles haven't shown any interest in Ohtani yet. The Cubs have. I just don't see the Orioles. I don't see a world where the Orioles ever even touch.
I think that's a little sad. I think that's a little sad.
And what do you think? Do you still think Orioles interest you most?
I think that would be the spot I would like to see them the most, because I don't know about you. Baseball, especially, is the sport that I want to see. I want to see bad teams do good. I don't care who it is, but I want I was really happy that the Rangers won the World Series this year. Yeah, because they won their first ever, and they have a long history of not making it at all, or when they do make it, they choke out pretty bad. Yeah. I'm
all right.
Thinking the Cardinals game.
And that means on your final question, you did not reach an agreement. For once, Kyle finally stuck to his guns. So that means you guys have 7 points. Moving into the speed round, I'm going to ask questions for 2 minutes. So I'm going to take my time a little bit on asking those questions in that time. And then you guys got 2 seconds. Basically, say them at the same time. You don't got to write them. Just say your opinions at the same time. There is no discussion on debating these. You just have to find 3 things that you can naturally agree on. Are you ready?
I think so.
I'm ready.
All right. Starting now. All right. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Dog.
All right. That's 1 point.
We're good.
All right. Is the Banter Ball Podcast logo good?
No.
It's all right. It could be better.
You disagree.
I said it could be better.
All right, are these lacrosse sticks in the background a sick addition?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
they're pretty cool.
2 points. Brennan, are you cold?
Very.
Kyle, are you cold?
Not as much.
All right, you disagree.
I think that question was
different. I'm just saying, there was no point given on that speed round. This is a very slow speed round. I don't want you guys to win, but you're already going to. So
if it's just meant to be, then
well, then we're going to be.
All right, cool. Favorite NBA team?
With the Indiana Pacers,
the Miami Heat. That's
you already know.
You know both of that answers.
Okay, look, I didn't prepare these questions. All right, this is a speed round that I'm not ready for. Favorite color?
Ooh, pink.
Go. Pink.
Red.
Your favorite color is pink?
I like it.
Objectively best color?
Blue.
I like blue. I can get behind blue.
I think blue is the objectively best color. All right, you guys reached 10 points. Congratulations, you've avoided.
Let's
get
it.
Let's go, baby.
You've avoided a punishment of any sort.
The punishment?
What?
Does that mean we?
No, that just means we're good, right? That just means I made questions for you, guys, that were good. But maybe next time, if you watch again, there will maybe be a punishment. Overall, you guys agreed on almost everything, but you weren't able to get through all the questions because you were dominating the time in the discussion, and he didn't really get to voice his own opinion until the very end. He was just like, oh, yeah. And then... that just kind of was what it was. You guys could have, I'm sure, but you guys could have ended the questions a little bit earlier if you were trying to.
I took too much notes. I overestimated the amount of time That 35 seconds.
May want to
35 seconds is.
add some time to us, maybe.
I'm definitely removing time from the speed round. I'm definitely removing time.
You keep the time. I'll do less work.
All right, and that's the show for today. Make sure to follow Banter Ball Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram and TikTok and
all the
Twitter.
fun apps.
All of the things.
All
Twitter.
social media. We're on all social medias.
X.
All
No,
social
Twitter.
medias.
All of the social medias, except Facebook. Nobody cares about Facebook.
Yeah.
So, well, I like Facebook, but not really.
You have a
Also-
Facebook?
I have a Facebook because I need to have it. All right, anyway, that's the show. All right, thanks, guys, for being here. And next time we will be online, not in this garage. And we will probably I will probably be analyzing and having better opinions than you guys. So,
I think my opinions were pretty good.
Yeah.
all
I'm
right.
just saying.
Okay.
This one bad too, you know?
Good day, guys. That was very good.